Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to episode 3 of Riding with the Rabbi. Now, my first non-family guest on this show, Samantha Migdal. Why Samantha Migdal, you ask? Well, when this started, just because I was filming in the car for whatever reason, and she wrote to me, and she said, you know, you should do a show like that. Like they have, what's the guy's name?
James Corden.
Yeah, it's like James Corden. Maybe I should use a funny accent. And we came up with the term of riding with the rabbi. So, you know what happens every time you make suggestions, you're on the committee. So here you are, Samantha and Moshe. Moshe just finished school. How many years of preschool did you do, Moshe? Not enough? You want to do another year of preschool? You want to go to kindergarten? 74. Okay. So, you know, this is an opportunity for everyone to get to know our tens and tens of viewers, to get to know Samantha and a little bit about her. Samantha is the co-chair of our youth committee. She does an excellent job. But you have, what's your side job that you do?
My side job, I work in the conflicts group at Goldman Sachs.
Isn't the entire company a conflicts group? No, you can't say that.
I can't say that.
What does that mean? Could you? I don't know what that means.
So what that means is my group reviews all the opportunities that come into the firm. The firm's a big place. So Goldman Sachs provides clients with advice. We provide clients with financing. We also make our own principal investments. And so my team makes sure that all those things don't collide.
Okay. How many years have you been working at Goldman Sachs?
I've been at Goldman Sachs in October. There's Ashton Weiss.
Ashton, need a ride? This is great.
It's not going down.
Ashton, need a ride?
You want to ride home? Come on
I'll give you a ride home.
Sure.
Yeah, come on. Okay, this is great. This is a real cameo. We have a cameo appearance from Ashton Weiss. We're picking him up. We're driving him home. Ashton, say we're just actually filming a little bit of a show, so this is perfect. Say hello to everybody. I see it must be humid out. Your hair is very.
Yeah, he's got the Jufro.
Yeah, really.
I have one of those.
We could be right back in the 80s again. Yeah, so I'm sorry, you were saying.
Oh, so I was saying. So my group makes sure that those things don't intersect. And we make sure that if they are going to intersect, that we make sure that clients are aware, so everything's transparent.
And how long have you been at Goldman?
15 years.
15 years? 15 years. Wow, amazing. Yeah. So you started right after you graduated high school. That's impressive.
I know. It's amazing,
very impressive.
Right?
And how many years have you been living in Livingston?
I think September will be the 4th year. 4 years.
And what made you choose Livingston particularly?
It's not very exciting. We were actually trying to find a house with a flat yard because the house we came from did not have a flat yard. Bye, Ashton.
Bye, Ashton. Have a great day.
I'm sure I'll see you later.
Stay in school.
It's the president's son, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Ashton Weiss.
See, we're a full-service synagogue. Oh, so you were looking for a flat yard.
John has no idea what's going on. So we're looking for a flat yard, and you know, our real estate broker, Sarit Harel, said to us, you know, your kids go to Golda Up Academy. It doesn't matter where you live if you're not changing schools. You should look in Livingston. That's where a lot of your kids' friends live, and it's true because Simeon's friends, Ashton being one of them, used to tell Simeon anytime they saw a house for sale in the neighborhood that he should come look at it because they wanted him to move closer. Because we moved from South Orange, and so here we are.
And in retrospect, good decision?
Fantastic decision. No regrets.
Feels like home?
Feels like home.
Okay. Now, I'm sure everybody here knows that we recently had a milestone occasion with Simeon's bar mitzvah.
Yep.
And I had the privilege to teach him and to study with him for well over a year. And it was a great experience for me. For him, I don't know. But tell me if you could, I don't know, put in a couple of words planning for bar mitzvah during a pandemic. And then actually getting to that point, and then actually going through it, and then having time to reflect on it. You know, what does it all mean to you?
Well, I'll tell you, COVID sort of simplified the bar mitzvah in a way that going into it, I thought created a lot of havoc, too much chaos for me to deal with. But during the moment and afterwards, I realized COVID was a blessing because it made all of us focus on what was important, which was Simeon's learning, Simeon's Torah reading, and Simeon himself was very focused on it. He did have a good time, by the way. And so I actually think COVID was a blessing, as I said. And so it, you know, we rolled with the punches. We ended up having a little something after our house, a kiddush with some of our family members. And then Sunday we had a couple of friends over in the backyard. Nothing too crazy. And it was one of the most fantastic weekends we've had as a family in a very long time. And Simeon was so proud of himself, which is always good to see in a 13-year-old boy.
As well he should be. He worked very, very hard.
He worked very hard.
And you at a very early stage in your time here in Livingston, you got involved in shul stuff very, very quickly. Where does that come from?
I'm not sure if people know, but I'm not exactly quiet. So if there's something that I'm interested in...
Is that a new thing? I didn't notice. I never noticed that.
It developed in my 20s. But a couple of things. One, there was an opportunity. I felt very welcome. The family felt so welcomed at Eitz Chaim, and we felt at home immediately. So there was none of that. Let me take a couple of years to people to get to know me. I felt like people wanted to get to know me very quickly and did. People were interested in hearing what I thought about the shul, how, and even for me to raise my hand and say I could be helpful. People said, "Come on in. Do you want to be helpful? We're here for you to be helpful." From my background, my parents, my whole family, my dad in particular, has always been very involved in his shul. He was a principal of a Hebrew school. He was the president of his shul. And then when their shul ran out of money, he was effectively the weekly gabbai / rabbi / speechwriter / whatever you want to call it.
And as we know, also youth leader on Rosh Hashanah.
On your Rosh Hashanah.
Yes.
He was a guest youth leader.
That's a great Inselbach quality.
Inselbach quality. Step up when you need to.
I love it. Okay, now, so if somebody was talking to you about looking at Eitz Chaim, looking at Livingston, what would you tell them?
I would tell them, you got to try it. You'll love it the second you walk in. You'll feel like the reason we loved it, the reason Gabe and I loved it and took to it so quickly is because it literally felt like nothing changed from when we were kids, meaning the service, the focus, the people, everything was very reminiscent of sort of that traditional service, traditional Judaism. And that's what we wanted our kids to have, and that was the experience that we wanted to have. And that's what you'll get when you walk in the door. Okay. In addition to friendly people, great programming.
Okay. And Moshe's posse.
And yeah, Moshe, you can't forget Moshe. Moshe every Shabbos morning, right? Do you like going to shul on Shabbos? Yeah, you do. Who do you get to hang out with? He's falling asleep. So.
Okay, good. This is why we drive around in the sun. Now we have to have a little bit of Torah. Okay,
Torah.
I'm going to ask you, what is this week's parsha?
So if I remember correctly, this week's parsha.
Or tell me something that happens in this week's parsha.
I'll tell you about what happens in the parsha because I can't remember the name. But this is the parsha where Moshe hits the rock instead of speaking to the rock.
Wow. Okay, very good. So the parsha is Chukad, and he does that. So.
I knew that already.
Oh,
really?
You knew that. Okay, now if I had asked, why do you think he hit the rock, and why instead of speaking to the rock, and why? And what was his punishment was?
Yeah, he wasn't allowed to go into Eretz Yisrael.
And do you think that the punishment fit the crime?
It's a heavy question.
It's a very heavy question, by the way. For those wondering, I gave the entire Tuesday class about it. You can watch it on YouTube. But in your estimation, when you're in the conflict department,
right?
And this was a conflict maybe between Moshe and the people, and maybe between Moshe and God. Or let me put it to you this way: when you want to deal with people who are in need, mm-hmm. and you're frustrated, and there's no end in sight, what do you think is more effective, hitting or speaking?
It's definitely speaking. How do they say you can catch more bees with honey than vinegar?
Right.
Which is true. It's very easy to lose your patience, so I think perhaps that's what happened. It's sort of reflective of what happens today, right?
Yeah.
People are more prone to lose their patience. You hope you don't lose your patience, and you hope you use your words instead of hitting or hurting someone in a different way.
Okay. But I think also gives kind of Moshe like a human quality of saying,
right.
He's not a superhero. He's not supernatural. He's
right.
And it was a tough one. It's a hard question to answer, but we live and learn, and Moshe's still the greatest Jew that ever lived, and Moshe Klubanov is the greatest son I've ever had. Right? Anyway, it's really been a pleasure to get to
Thank you.
know you, spend this time, and I hope
Appreciate it.
you know we're gonna keep this series going, and you learn about your friends, you learn about your congregants, you learn about your neighbors, and we learn a little Torah too. So thank you, and have a great day.
You too. I hope this doesn't cause people to stop watching Riding with the
Not
Rabbi,
even at
because
all.
it's the
Not
first
at
of
all.
many.
Not at all.
Okay.